Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, big pump for XLM, above 32%, and the current price is above 20 cents at the moment of XLM. You know about the big news from yesterday. Ukraine government picks Stellar Development Foundation to help build national digital currency, and I see that there is some FUD out there online, and many people are saying that they're not sure if actually the Central Bank of Ukraine is going to use the actual Stellar network for issuing CBDC. So first of all, I saw some comments, and to answer your worries and questions, here you see from Yahoo Finance, Ukraine's government has chosen the Stellar blockchain. I repeat, the Stellar blockchain network as a platform to build a central bank digital currency, CBDC. And some people say that they're not sure if they're going to use the actual Stellar blockchain network, because here you see they've mentioned that they did a pilot test project, and where was it? And they used private version of the Stellar blockchain, and I even heard one of the many YouTubers who is actually he's always talking only about Ethereum and ERC20 tokens, and all other cryptocurrencies are shitcoins for him, and so on and so on. I'm not a tribalist. I don't believe in only one blockchain and only one coin. I understand that the different cryptocurrencies and blockchain networks have different use cases, and if Ethereum is good for one thing, Stellar network is good for another thing, and so on and so on. So this YouTuber said that they're not going to use the Stellar network, they're going to use some kind of clone of the Stellar network, and they're going to issue their CBDC on separate network, you know, and they hired the Stellar Development Foundation for consulting them. And this is FUD, and this is stupid, absolutely stupid, and kind of idiotic to say, because first of all, if they clone the Stellar network and they decide to issue their stable coin there, their CBDC there, how are they going to interoperate with the different with the rest of the financial world? The idea of the Stellar network is to give the opportunity of different financial institutions, different commercial banks and central banks to use the Stellar network as a protocol for moving value all across the world, for using it for cross-border payments, for tokenizing assets, and many different things. And another thing, second of all, the Stellar Development Foundation has a mission. So let's take a look at Stellar Development Foundation, what it is doing. It is a non-profit organization whose mission is to create equitable access to the global financial system. Founded in 2014, the foundation helps maintain Stellar's code base, supports the technical and business communities around Stellar, and is speaking partner to regulators and other stakeholders. In all, we are a global company, almost 60 people strong, working to make Stellar the global payment standard. The foundation, organizing Foundation's organizing mission is to create equitable access to the global financial system. The Stellar technology is our means to that goal. Okay. SDF has no shareholders, no dividends, and no profit motive. So SDF has no profit motive, and they're working for the adoption of the Stellar network as a global payments protocol on the internet. There is no sense in saying that the central bank of Ukraine is hiring the Stellar Development Foundation as a consultant, and they are not going to use the Stellar blockchain. The mission of the Stellar Development Foundation is to develop the Stellar blockchain, and they are working for the global adoption of the Stellar network. It is simple as that. Okay, so let's continue. The foundation is funded by lumens generated at Stellar's inception, and today we hold roughly 30 billion of them, so they don't need to be paid from other organizations, banks, and governments, and so on and so on. Jet McCaleb doesn't need to be paid. he has enough XRP to sell, and he already sold a lot of XRP, and yeah, I don't think that he needs more money. He has a mission, and his mission is to work for the global adoption of the Stellar network. All of those lumens will eventually be used to enhance and promote Stellar, or to pay taxes as we do so. So it is obvious that the Stellar Development Foundation is working to promote the Stellar network. They are not working to help some government clone the Stellar network and build its own blockchain. This is nonsense, you know? Their mission is to develop the Stellar blockchain, to promote the Stellar blockchain, to work for global adoption of the Stellar blockchain network, and that's it. So another thing that I see that many people don't understand is, okay, they are going to issue CBDC on the Stellar network, but how this is going to help XLM? They are not going to use XLM, and so on. So this is wrong, because every account on the Stellar network uses XLM. XLM is the fuel of the Stellar network. It is in the heart of the Stellar blockchain network. And let's start from the basics. So Stellar lumens. Stellar was made to support digital representations of any currency, but it also has its own built-in token called the Lumen, created to fill a special role in the network. By design, Stellar requires that each account hold a small number of lumens at all times. You know, there is a reserve for creating an account. Every account has to have a minimum of 1 XLM. So why does Stellar require lumens? The need for lumens arose out of the fundamental design of Stellar's ledger system. Simply put, it's too easy to use. Without some nominal barrier or cost, the ledger could become filled with spam or nonsense, or used as a kind of arbitrary database system. These outcomes would defeat the intent behind Stellar, to be a fast, efficient payments system. To solve this, we needed to introduce just the slightest bit of friction to deter bad or frivolous actors. Imposing a minimum balance on each account and a very small per transaction fee were chosen as these deterrent costs. Right now, the minimum balance is 1 lumen, and the minimum per transaction fee is 0.00001 lumen. These are small enough to keep Stellar widely accessible, but big enough to discourage large-scale bad behavior. Since Stellar is a universal system for digital money, we could have allowed people to pay these costs in dollars, pesos, yuan, or anything else. But we felt none of these were appropriate. First, we didn't want the network to prefer any particular national currency. If Stellar used dollars, say, then network prices would stay fixed for Americans but float for everyone else. And even more, we wanted to create a digital-first asset that embraces the openness of the internet and is independent of economic and political factors. So it is kind of a supranational currency. So we gave the network its own currency, intended solely for denominating network requirements. That currency is the Lumen. As you can see below, there are now 4.3 million Stellar accounts, and each of them uses lumens to meet minimum balance requirements and pay transaction fees. And one more thing, when you are creating a trust line to some other asset on the Stellar network, you also need to add additional lumens as a reserve in order to create the trust line. So, and another use case for XLM is to be used as a bridge currency. So you know that at the moment, the current model for cross-border payments is correspondent banking. And when using correspondent banking, you have to lock solid amounts of currency in other countries in order to pay cross-border. So this is very costly, very expensive, very inefficient, very slow, and many times insecure. And with the Stellar network and maybe using XLM as a bridge currency, this is going to be a lot easier. And if there are enough participants on the network who are using XLM as a bridge currency, of course the demand for XLM is going to grow, and since the supply is not infinite, like let's say the supply of the US dollar, we know that XLM has a finite supply, fixed supply, so therefore the price is going to grow in time. This is not a financial advice, of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. So this is the logic, basically. This is the idea. So very, very bright future for the Stellar network and its native cryptocurrency XLM. Of course, there are many other use cases for the Stellar network and XLM, not only to use it as a bridge currency for cross-border payments. But you can do your own research and maybe you can leave your opinions under the video in the comment section below. So that's all for today, guys. I hope that this video was useful for those of you who really didn't know how XLM is going to be used and what is the significance of this announcement of the Central Bank of Ukraine using the Stellar blockchain network. And I hope that you understand that they're going to use the Stellar blockchain network. They're not going to use a copy or a clone of the Stellar blockchain, because the purpose of the Stellar blockchain network is to be is to connect the many different players on the financial markets, the many different banks, central banks, financial companies, and so on and so on. So I think it is obvious that they are going to use the Stellar network, and if they are not going to use the Stellar network, then the Stellar Development Foundation is not going to work with the Ukrainian government, because The mission of the Stellar Development Foundation is to work for the global adoption of the Stellar blockchain network. That's it. It is simple as that. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. Be safe and see you next time.